2004 as a fundraiser, and then a lot of the analogies was fundraiser. When I first began, when I did the interview, they saw me as I'm a naturally cheeky guy, very loud guy, very cocky guy, yeah. And the interview, that's why they gave me that job. They go, this guy's got potential. But when I came on the streets, and because this is where I want to relate to you, and bear with me this, right? A lot of brothers, you know how they are at home, you know their comfort zone when they're at home or amongst their friends or on Eid, or they're like, it's really open, informal, having a laugh, laid back, like that comfort zone. But when they're on the streets, like, yeah, they change, they become more formal. They're not being themselves, yeah. So what I've seen a lot of brothers is they're being really informal at home in their comfort zone. When it comes to street and doing dawah, they're so formal. They become so serious, so that kind of thing, robotic. So that was me. So naturally I'm cheeky, but when it came to the street, the first day was in New Street, Covent Garden. I was walking up to people with a folder with my jacket, Amnesty International, and I was saying, "Excuse me, can I chat to you? Oh, sorry. Excuse me, have you got a minute?" Oh, so I was, like that kind of thing, and I was being very formal. I was being very apologetic. I'm not even done anything, and I'm apologising for being there. And my manager put me aside and he said, "Look, Nadeem, mate, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting like a cat?" And you know what I mean by that, yeah? Why are you acting like such a weak cat? And I said, "What do you mean? Where's the Nadeem, the cocky, cheeky, loud, outgoing, funny guy? You're acting like an old man." So I said, and I understood what he's saying. What I did, then I changed my approach completely. The next person, there's a lady, I just said to her, and I remember and this is probably just intuition or whatever, but I just said, "Hello, señorita, how's it going?" That's just like that, yeah? And she goes, "Oh, how did you know I'm Spanish?" SubhanAllah, she was actually Spanish. Yeah? It's crazy, yeah? SubhanAllah. And the thing, I said, "Look, miss, I think you look like an amazing person. You look like someone who's got a massive heart, and you're willing to give charity. Am I right?" She goes, "Well, yeah, cheeky, being cheesy, yeah." But SubhanAllah, she heard me, and even though I spoke about the charity, she wanted to sign up. And I even asked her, "Oh, thank you." She goes, "I didn't sign up for the charity. I signed up the way you approached me. You approached me so informal and being cheeky and being extremely friendly." And that's what it was. So I've got the conversation, I've got it to stop. Before that, I struggled to stop anything. I couldn't stop no one for a good hour and a half. But as soon as I changed my mindset, and that's psychology. So this is just a story I want to share with you, inshallah. So the other psychology, brothers, this is really important, yeah, is that when you go out there in the streets, inshallah, whether it's East Ham, whether tomorrow you go to Stamford Hill, or it's Leicester Square, or any other area, and wherever on earth, because remember, we're going to be, inshallah, da'is for life, yeah? Not just on a weekend or a weekday when you're free. Inshallah, wherever you are till death, inshallah, we're going to carry the banner of Tawheed, yeah? And you never know, because like I said, I'm from Crawley, and I went to Islamabad, now I'm doing dawah in London. I'm advising brothers and sisters all around the world, alhamdulillah, how to improve the techniques. And I was just a guy from Crawley, so my vision, I had a big vision, yeah? So maybe Allah will, through one of you, you could end up in Brazil or something, because mashallah now the mission dawah has increased. So these kind of techniques, inshallah, you can use anywhere in the world, inshallah. And one of the biggest things you need to do when you're out there in the streets, and I'm going to give I don't know any footballers in the room. Any footballers, fanatic football? You probably are, just don't admit it.
I think we're more fans than football.
Man United? No? We're aware of Manchester United? Okay, there's a footballer called Eric Cantona. Old player. Anybody else? He's doing humble, brothers, yeah? Okay, he's a famous player. The thing I remember about him, when he used to come on the pitch, when he used to score a goal, he literally used to do this. It's a very famous scene. You literally chest out. Like, that's how we should be on the streets. Like, we're almost like, with the mujahideen when they're in the battlefield and they're correct fighting. You can actually be arrogant. The hadith says, as duaat, our area of work is that Leicester Square, is that pedestrian area. And when we go out there, we don't want to be feeble like an old man and hiding. We'll actually walk around like that. I'm not saying move out the way, push and shove. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying the mindset is, subhanAllah, I own the streets. I'm the king of the street. So my other nickname was King of the Streets. I've got a medal for that as well, yeah? Master Stopper, King of the Streets. But the thing is, the way you go out there, the mindset is you own the street. And this is the reason why. It's not out of arrogance, because if you think about it, and I'm going to give Leicester Square as an example, all those people, you've had conversation, I think you, brother, you've been Leicester Square regular, Brother Hassan here and a few others. Would you agree a lot of them, when you ask them what you're doing here, sometimes if you do, they're on a date, because it's a very famous dating area, yeah, on a date, what are you doing here, on a date, or blind date, or whatever. They're for shopping, a lot of tourists, yeah, or walking through Oxford Street around the corner. So it's like, and a lot of them are finishing work and that's their route back, right? That's the usual kind of people. So
Because casinos, gambling, night clubbing.
So very worldly rated, very selfish reasons, yeah? So they're there for selfish reasons, world reasons. Why are we there? Are we there for shopping or gambling or date? We're there for to call people to Allah, right? So who's got more ownership of that area, of that street, for those couple of hours? Us or them?
Me.
Us. Would you agree? Who's got a higher mandate? Us. So this is what you should be, brothers. Like when you're out there, you've got the inshallah, you own that area, you own this street, and you've got more reason to be there than them. And the reason why of course, I wanted to instill this in your brother's mindset is so that when you're out there next time, you're here for sake of Allah, you don't feel nervous trying to stop someone. Yeah, you never. And this is a golden rule which I learned as a fundraiser. You never ever think what the other person is thinking, unless it's a bit of a mouthful. Never ever think what they're thinking of you. No, if I approach him, she's not giving me a dirty look. SubhanAllah, let's not be scared of dirty looks. Let's not be scared of frowns. The way I used to kind of psych myself up, especially businessmen, they have this frown, and Chancellor name Strand, because some fundraisers fear this. They have this frown, don't stop me, I'm a big man, that kind of thing. SubhanAllah, they're nothing, they're just little mouses, or liners, isn't it? And you say, oh, mate, how you doing looking smart? I've done this. And this was fundraising days. You can say, oh, that was old time, long time. I actually did this a month and a half ago in Leicester Square. After a long time, did a street fundraiser in London. And the first person I just said, oh, that is an amazing suit. That's what I said, he just got a massive smile. So when there's a smile, you just stop them and that's it, easy. And then you just kind of brought them, that kind of thing. So the biggest thing in this particular section, which I said, was that you own the streets. You are a higher mandate to be here. Never ever think that I shouldn't be here. This is really bad. And of course, because IRA, we've got permission from council, there's actually a police van always there in this square, which means we've got protection as well, yeah? So there's no issues of it, inshallah. You understand that point I'm trying to say? Yeah, we've got more importance. So never ever feel unimportant, inshallah. Okay, the second point is that we've actually got, subhanAllah, this is actually not made up from because in Islam we follow the Quran of Sunnah, and you'll be amazed to know that what some of the methods which I was looking into, even the prophets, the Anbiya, and even the Sahaba and the Rasulullah, they use certain methods as well. And some of these are very, because mashallah, you guys look like very knowledgeable people. The story of Ibrahim and the idols. Do you remember anybody want to narrate that? Maybe really summarize it. That when anybody want to? Yeah, bro.
Summarize.
Summarize the story with him and the idols.
No, you mean to explain this?
Do you know the story?
Yeah. No, basically, the whole city went for some fair, and only Prophet Ibrahim al-Islam was there, and he said that I'm not feeling well. So he stayed there and he demolished all the idols, and he gave the axe to the larger one, the bigger one. Yeah. And then when they came, and they said that who did this? Yeah. The people of Namrud. And then they catch him, and then he was asked why you had done this. And our father says that ask the bigger idol.
Yeah, I used to ask him, yeah.
Yeah. And then for a second they just stopped,
Made them think.
Yeah, they made them think.
Yeah, absolutely. So you could say, Ibrahim and some of the commentators of this series, they actually use the word trick. So he used trick. So what we're doing on the streets, we're not tricking, we're not salespeople, we're not trying to trick them into it. But things like, when the techniques I'm using is actually based on prophetic styles. You can use certain creativity and imagination to stop people and to challenge them, rather than just one set method. And the other one is Rasul and Ruqanna, the wrestler. Has anybody know the story? That Ruqanna was a famous wrestler in Makkah, and Rasul, has anyone heard of the story? Challenged him. He said, if I throw you, if I beat you, would you accept Islam? He goes, okay. So this is Rasulullah using, and he did. He threw him twice and he accepted Islam. So Rasulullah using other means and styles to try and stop, to convey the message of Islam. So this is why you could say that, this is a bid'ah, this is not. No, this is actually using, the examples of our Salaf and of the Prophets, inshallah. So the one thing I want to cover, inshallah, is that if we do this, like for example, smile more, be informal, be friendly, then what's going to happen is we're going to start chatting to the all stratas of society, rather than just one particular person who stops. And inshallah, these skills, you can chat to anybody. For example, you can chat to a businessman, you can chat to a teenager, 19-year-old teenager, you can chat to an EDL racist guy, You can chat to, you know, the ladies, women, for those brothers who are married and, you know, control, you know, the desires and stuff. So this is what I'm saying, yeah? Some of these techniques, inshallah, can be used for that as well. So one thing I want to, I mean, this is actually not ideal for this kind of technique. We need to be out there. I mean, of course, we're suffering over time. Inshallah, if I do come next Wednesday, we can actually try it, because there is a lot of it's practical, and some of it, I do apologize, may not make sense, but hopefully someone will, you know, some understanding. What I used to do, and which worked for me as a fundraiser, and actually worked for me as doing Dawah here in Crawley, in the town centre, is I always look for someone from afar. So you know when you're in the middle of the street and there's people rushing around you, and let's say it gets very busy, right? Or towards the end, about 10, it gets quiet or something. But there's that period between 7, 9, very busy. It's almost like a traffic, like a road, right? And you're there as a da'i with your card. Now, rather, once observers, they're trying to get as many people, like, excuse me, like that, yeah? Almost like that, yeah? It's like a dance move, yeah? So you're like, you know, and 1 in 10 or 1 in 5 will pick up the card. Most will ignore you, or most will not want it, right? So what you need to do, inshallah, is try and pick someone from distance, from afar. I don't know, 10 meters, 15 meters, where that window is, that kind of thing. And what I used to do, which you can try go, is wave at them. I understand some brothers are not naturally outgoing, not extroverts. They, you know, naturally they're very shy introverts. But you can, these methods, you can try and adopt it. That's the whole point. But what I'm trying to do with these methods, and you don't have to copy exactly how it is. But the point is to you to think outside the box. That's what it is. Start thinking in different ways rather than just, excuse me, can I chat to you? Or have you heard of Islam? Or do you believe in God? Or whatever you shout out. I don't know. Actually, I want to ask, when you're on the stall, or when you're out, not behind the store, when you're out the store, when you're street out, I was wondering from some of the brothers who are regular, what kind of things do you say to people trying to stop them? Like lines, when they're walking past?
True message of Jesus. True message of Jesus.
So you should say true message and hope they hear it, right? But what kind of lines do you use?
I've been recently saying, roll up, read all about it, read all about it, find out about the most talked
Bro,
about.
it looks like you've already got this training. You actually use it, yeah?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And it makes people smile, laugh.
Yeah, everyone wants to, they kind of listen sometimes.
Yeah,
Like, who's this Cockney guy? Suddenly he's thinking a bit Cockney, you know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Anyone else? What kind of lines do you use? Or is it just a case of just quiet out?
I asked them
like,
where
hello?
I asked them where a smile is. Like, where's your smile?
Oh, where you start? So you do it? Okay, must you try? Okay. Anyone else try to do the things? Or free information. Okay, fair enough. Okay, anything else we use?
Obviously, I'm going to show you something amazing.
Okay.
Funding from the phone in a few minutes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, okay. So what I want brothers to do, inshallah, is more what Brother Rahel and Hassan does. That's the kind of thing do. Because think about it, these guys, they come, most people, and the tourists, but the guys who come from work, they have a long day, hard day at work. Yeah? And if you ever notice in London, some areas of London, the people on the streets are Christian preachers. And I don't know if you noticed, but some of these are crazy. They're weird. I don't know why, it's just me, but the people, the Christian preachers in Hyde Park or in other places, with a loudspeaker, where there's one Oxford Street, there's one Stratford, they just shout random rubbish. They just shout it, they don't listen. So the people, majority in London, because we're in London now, the context, they think that all religious people are weird and crazy. And only if you're crazy and weird, you're going to be religious. So they go, so if they see you, say, would you like the purpose of life? They're going to say, oh, just you're just another Christian. Yeah? But what I want to try to push and hopefully instill with you guys is that we want to show that we're normal, cool, everyday people. You know, we're not special saint that we went to a cave in Nepal and we came back out religious. Yeah? We're people who work here. We work on office. We work for a 9-to-5 job. We've got a family. We're cool. We're not crazy. We're not mental asylum. We've not been brainwashed in a church, you know, as missionaries do. We're just everyday cool people. But they don't know that. The people don't know that. So when you use things like what you said, roll up and where's your smile, you're trying to make them smile. You're trying to make them smile. Now the key thing is, brothers, yeah, if they don't stop, but as long as you've waved at them, made them smile, made them think, if that's the same person, because it's less a square, right? If the person's working and he works around the corner and he's going past you, he hasn't stopped, but you've made him smile. If he works the same place next Wednesday, he might want to stop and he'll have the impression, oh, this guy's actually cool. He's a nice guy. I might want to chat to him in the future. So you're kind of sowing the seed in his head, yeah? Because some of his long-term now, inshallah. So always gets him from afar. Because if you get someone near, you know, hello, excuse me, oh, you're gone. Excuse me, roll. You know these lines, they're good lines, but only if you get someone in the distance. Because if you start saying lines when they're here, then they're not going to hear your lines. They're not going to hear your smile. They're going to see you. So if you get someone in the distance, roll up, come on. Yeah, what do you say? Roll up. Hear about it.
Read all about
Read
it.
all about it. Like a learned thing. And that's a really good one. So, but what I usually do, which works, is the guy, pick someone up, the guy with the smartest suit in Leicester Square. And you say it's very loudly because I can hear it, yeah? So you got to first see them from a distance, make sure there's eye contact. You can't look around, you got to look, you got to lock on someone. Look at someone, make sure they see you, wave at them, say something and wait for the response, then do the next line. But these things you're only going to do if from a distance. If they're here, you can't do all that. So, you know, for example, where brother, what's your name? Yeah?
Riyaz.
Yeah, so I would say, you know, how you doing, bro? You alright? How's life? You okay?
Yeah.
That's a good smile, man. Where'd you get it from? You know, whatever. Can I have a handshake? Yeah? So that's the kind of thing I'm doing. It's actually, this is instinctive now because I've been here a long time. So it's like a handshake, eye contact, say something, wait for them to say something back. Because the other thing people do or fundraisers do is they say something, they get all the lines out, but they've not responded. But you've got to wait for the first response. And when there's initial reaction, then you've got to go for the next one. So that's one thing you could try, inshallah. The other thing is people in London, they dress to impress, especially in central London. Yeah, people dress to impress. Yeah, and no matter what people say, I need to dress for myself. No, they love attention. People love attention. Guess what? As da'is, duaat, we're going to give that attention. So always pick out a certain clothing. Yeah, and especially in the summer, maybe not so in the winter, in the daytime or earlier on, is that they wear t-shirts. And a lot of these people, they wear t-shirts with lines on them, different, like, you know, Geek Squad or, you know, whatever. Read it out. Say, oh, the guy with the Geek Squad t-shirt or something. Oh, the guy with the Ghele or Gheli cap.
Gearly hats.
Ghele. Is that like a Dutch thing?
It's a clothing line with my cousin.
Okay, there you go. So marketing there, 2 second block. No. But yeah, so yeah, the guy with a really cool Ghele
Yeah.
cap. Wow, that's a cool cap, man. Where'd you get it from? You know, that kind of thing. Or guy, they use suits, yeah. Obviously, in fundraising days, I'll be careful. I use, you know, it depends on different brothers' intentions. Like if it's a lady with a hat, you know, you can say like, lady with a hat, would you like a chat? Or something like that. Yeah. Cheesy lines, yeah, but they actually work on the streets. So, notice their attire. Again, from a distance. You can't do this someone going past you. Just lock on someone. You've got to ignore a lot of people. So that guy, I want to chat to that guy. Yeah? When you're first starting, it has to be individuals, it has to be single guys. When you get more confident experience and more informal and you can get more, your confidence growing, then you start doing these with 2 people. And then groups of people, because there's in Leicester Square, there's actually a lot of groups, I've noticed a lot of groups of people. Say, hey guys, you look are you part of a band or something? No, I'm a joke. Listen, what's your name? Right. So you got to do that. So the thing is, the key thing, when you are giving compliments and when you are joking, there's banter going on, it's witty banter, make sure you got to close with, oh mate, can I just have 10 seconds of your time? And that's really key. I always say seconds, never minutes. I just want a few seconds of your time, just 10 seconds. Okay, I know you're in a rush. So sympathize that I know you're in a rush. Even the person, the lady that's not in a rush, yeah, you've got to say to them, I know you're in a rush. Because they feel that if they feel, I'm stuck now with this preacher, and you know, I'm stuck another half an hour. But if you sympathize with them, they're going to say, okay, this person understands that I've had a long day at work. So again, last night when we went to the sky, I should use this. Look, I know you're in a rush. He goes, no, I'm not in a rush. Oh, okay. Yes, she wasn't in a rush. But anyway, usually, I know you're in a rush. I just like 10, 15 seconds of your time to have the most amazing conversation you'll probably have in your life. What do you say? All right then, go on. And then you ask, what's your name? What do you do? So that's what you got to do. The other thing is, you've got to get their name, what they do, and you know, and obviously London is full of mixed race people. And ask, you know, where are you from? That kind of thing. Because what I've noticed about the Dawah, they just get in the conversation straight away. So, hello, my name is Nadeem. So yeah, in God, university, does it come from nothing? Do you know what? University. So you've got to get to know them a bit. You've got to build rapport. Yeah, you've got to show them you're not a robot. You might as well just get a book out and read it. That's fun. Oh, wait there, hang on. Here's my Dawah booklet. Okay. So, in the beginning, yeah, we don't want to do that. We want to shake their hand. We're going to say, you know, mate, you look like a, yeah, I guess have a little laugh. Mate, you, from your dress sense, you look like you're a CEO or like a company. Or what are you, you know, you're a fashion designer. For those brothers who are really cheeky, like I can tell maybe Brother Rahel or Hassan or many other brothers, if you're really cheeky, say, mate, you're a fashion designer or something. So, you're smart, bro. Check you out, man, you got swag. I did that yesterday. Oh, no, stop it. You know. But what I'm saying is, the psychology is you bought them. They want to listen to you. They don't think that you're a cool person. You're not a weird Christian missionary preacher. Yeah, that's the whole point. So if they don't stop, but you've had that witty banter with them, they're going to hopefully have the impression that these Muslims, these let's square with the store, they're actually cool people. They're not weirdos. They're not there to brainwash us or take over or join us for ISIS. Because most people do the same thing. You're either ISIS, you're a terrorist, or this or that. Yeah. So if you have that conversation with them, or just that few, that's slightly crazy. But what? The thing is, again, these are things that work in the streets. And if you want to try it, you're from London, aren't you? So these kind of things. So if you ask a curious question, and the thing is, when I say very slowly, again, distance, and then it gives you time to think of a question as well on the spot, because there's a lot of on-the-spot thinking. But you've got to ask a curious question. Curious questions makes them curious, and then again you can stop them. So you can ask any question you want, anything under the sun, as long as it's not racist or haram or something. Yeah? So and the thing is, brothers, don't ever chase people. Yeah? I've seen brothers with a car, come on, even though responding, they walking. How long are you going to walk all the way to their house? What will you do? Yeah. So the challenge, the enjoyment is in stopping people. Yeah. This is your area of work. You're going to stop around, walk around. You're going to stop people. The other thing, brothers, never ever put your hands in your pocket. We're duaat, we're lively people, we're informal people. We're here with an amazing dynamic message of Rasulullah. Yeah. And we're here to convey the message, and it's a beautiful message. And it's dynamic. It's life changing, literally. So we're not going to do that. I've seen brothers do that. Never have your hands in your pocket. Never stand still. Two reasons standing still. First, it shows that you're not bothered about what you're doing. You're like almost forced, almost like your dad. Some of us, I'm the oldest here. There's other brothers. When the dads used to force you to go to the mosque. Go to the mosque. Yeah? It's almost like someone forced you to come and do dawah. Yeah. Oh, I'm doing dawah. Yeah. So you've got to be very lively and take 2 steps. Walk around. Like you have a fire. How do you do it? Okay. And again, Leicester Square is beautiful because it's a square. Other places like Ilford Town Centre, East Ham, wherever you kind of pedestrianise here, they're the best ones because you walk around. Obviously, some areas of the street you're a bit limited. So walk around, it shows impression. And the other thing is you won't get as tired as much. I don't know if you noticed, but if you stand still for a good hour or so, you will feel tired. The blood's not flowing. If you move around, your blood is flowing, you can go on normal, inshallah. That's the other tip, inshallah. Are you following me, brothers? Yeah? I'm not talking a bit too fast. There's actually a lot of stuff that I want to try and compromise. How long have I got, bro?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. Maybe I can get one or 2 key things, inshallah.
Maybe you could send us the slides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that. If anybody wants slides, I'll hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so reason why you're chatting to them and rapport building, what's your name, what do you do, and brothers, you can't, the other thing, my fundraiser when I train them, they say, excuse me, what's your name, what do you do, where are you from, what do you do, are you a policeman, are you MR5, what do you do, you've got to make it natural, like, so what's your name, oh, I said, my name is Lee, and if people at first, they won't ask you a question, they're like, you stop them, you stop them, they're ready to be entertained, okay, you stop me, go on, show, yeah, so you've got to take control of the conversation, so don't ask an interrogator, say, what's your name, oh, that's a brilliant name, man. Even if it's John, that's a brilliant name. What? What's brilliant about John? I don't know, but it's brilliant. It sounds good. He's just being jovial. And what do you do? Oh, excellent. And what you're doing in that conversation, you're trying to find any links, reports, like, what do I work for TFL? Oh, so do I. Have you got that travel card, that, your free travel card for your family? Or whatever, that kind of thing. Does anyone work for TFL? No, okay. But anyway, so you can do that. And the thing is, if they're not asking you a question back, you can answer for them. Yeah? Oh, what do you do? Oh, okay, my name's, I do this, I do that, whatever. And then have that kind of, so when there's so you've already done a compliment, you've already put the impression, hopefully, that, this guy's cool, he's a laugh, because people in London, they don't chat to people, a laugh. You notice people, they go to the pub, they want to laugh, they want to go to the theatre for a laugh. So we're going to give that laugh on the street, So they're going to be, when you chat to them, and when you give the whole go out with them, and, whether they accept or not, the thing is, you want to leave the impression that if they do stop, and if they do, for example, accept Islam, they'll be accepted because of your personality. Because most people, I don't really know, so this isn't an argument, most people won't understand what you said. Because a lot of us new duaat, the stuff we learn, we'll kind of rush through it because we're practicing. So at first they won't understand, but they will be impressed by your personality. That you had the audacity to stop them, you had the bravery, the courage to go out of your way, to take your time out. And you can say that. I work 9 to 5 in office, but I'm here to convey the message of Allah, the message of the one true God. They'll be impressed by that. They go, wow, this guy, he's here, take this time out just to talk to me. I'm here, so hopefully give you the message, the truth of life, the whole point of life. Yeah? So they're going to be impressed by your personality. But they won't be impressed if you don't have a conversation at the beginning. If you go straight to the content, they're not going to be impressed. But if you tell them that you're a human being, you're an everyday human being, you're not a robot, brainwashed Christian fanatic, yeah? That's the whole point. I'll just go through some of the stuff, inshallah. So, I'm going to talk just about the benefits, and I'll close on this, inshallah. If there are any questions, I'll try and answer. The benefits of using this strategy, which is being informal, being cheeky, using cheesy lines, stopping from a distance, waving at them, eye contact, compliments, rapport building. The benefits is that it brings the fun element of Dawah. Because those brothers who've been, I've seen a lot of brothers in Dawah, subhanAllah, and they've been like regular on Saturday or whatever, or other activities for weeks and weeks and months. But there's this thing called burnout, because we are human beings. And at some point we will have burnout. And it's happened to a lot of brothers. It might happen to me, but alhamdulillah, I've still got the passion and the drive for Dawah, alhamdulillah. And they're like, keep that going. But it does, because we're human beings. And one of the things that will keep us going, longevity, is fun, enjoying it. You can actually enjoy a Dawah story. There's nothing wrong with enjoying it. And if you have that witty banter with people, you think, I had some good laughs, man. This is really cool. And other brothers, other people who are not practicing, when they see that through videos or pictures, when you share the story, this Dawah thing, this is interesting. Can I come along with you? And they come along with you the next week and they see that, this is really cool. And inshallah, just through Dawah, just by watching you having that fun on the streets, inshallah, they make Dawah. And so, Muslims, so you're giving Dawah to non-Muslims and Muslims at the same time. Those Muslims are not practicing at all. They think Islam's boring, it's backward, and it's just the masjid, and it's just Jummah, and it's just that. No, Islam is dynamic, it's beautiful, Dawah is fun. The other benefit, brothers, is that the duaat won't get burned out, but there are people observing us. So the people that you're trying to stop, okay, maybe you haven't stopped them, but there are people, I don't notice in the cinema or around Tropicana or wherever, they're waiting for their date, wherever. And obviously when you're waiting, they're observing what's going on, and they see the stall. And if they will see you, this is really interesting. So you're leaving a good impression with those people. So okay, I'm on a date now, but that's not bad. I like the way you stop that. You're giving them giggles and laughs. So maybe they'll be, hopefully next time, come and chat to you, inshallah. There's people who wait around, from distance. And there's always people observing you, always. So again, if every single team in London and in Birmingham, or because we'll take this training all around the country, if all the teams and Dawatis adopt this methods, which is being informal, being happy, smiling, being lively, being dynamic, being cheeky, within limits, then if everyone has this impression, then inshallah this is a Dawah in itself, because at the moment we're being accused of being boring, backward, dull, no dynamism, terrorists angry, always hateful. But if we have the banter, the cheekiness, we're a normal human being, we work 9 to 5, then hopefully that will also change this perception of theirs. And hopefully they'll actually come and chat to us on the store. There is other stuff, but obviously because of lack of time, I won't be going through it, inshallah. But there's the email there. But any quick questions on? I know some of it didn't make sense and that kind of thing. This is the first time. You brothers are privileged to have this first time, inshallah. I'm going to build on it. But yeah, any questions?
I was laughing one day when they come. She was like, "What are you laughing at? Why?" I mean, maybe she knows that we're speaking about religion, Islam, Maybe she's racist, I don't know. She's saying like this, how do you look at it?
So you were laughing?
I was laughing.
Okay. Were you laughing at her or?
I was just laughing,
Smiling.
Just
smiling.
Okay.
And then I was just smiling to her, and she was saying like this, She said,
What did she say, sorry?
She said like, what are you laughing at?
Oh, okay.
Like she was just saying like, she's insulting me.
Oh, okay. So why are you laughing? Why do you have to laugh?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe she knows that, maybe we've been talking about, or maybe she's rest.
She didn't stop, she kept walking?
She's just going away and then say it like this.
It's a very weird situation that you're laughing. But I'd say,
But she's older, but she's not angry.
I'm just one thing about this situation. I would say, I know it is a bit crazy, innit? But forget that. That's an amazing hat you got. Change the subject. I tell you what, are you a professor? What? Are you a professor? You're not a professor. Your observation is so sharp. You got to think on the spot, yeah? I'll just change the subject completely. So never be defensive, brothers. Never ever be defensive. Always go on the offensive. And I'll be the epitome of that. But again, it depends on confidence. And at first, when you try some of these lines and tactics, and there's many other lines we can do. I've actually got a whole. Maybe I can share a couple of lines quickly now, just as a laugh, and maybe just to get you thinking. So these are tried and tested lines, right? a person's going past, and I'm saying, oh, let's have a chat. Come and stop, have a chat. No, I'm rushing. I go, you're rushing. You look English to me. And they're laughing, what? And they started to, another person is going past and running past and is saying, come on, let's have a chat. This is at the station. Oh no, I've got to catch a train. How are you going to catch them? They're really heavy. And then the last one was a classic. This is in Bromley. The guy's going past, he's got a box, he's carrying a box on his head. And, English guy in his 30s or 40s, whatever. And tattoos. And he's got the box and he's walking really fast, obviously in a rush. He's like, mate, come on, let's have a chat. I want to talk about charity. No, mate, I've got to go. Come on, it's a good thing, charity. We need your money. Help, you're kind, whatever. No, mate, can't you see? I've got a box. And I said, come. And I said, come on, mate, think outside the box. But I'm saying, these are some of the lines you can do. It makes you, fuzzy, warm and fuzzy inside, and they'll respond as well, inshallah.
Quick question, please.
Yeah, sure.
We've had this come up in our team. What sort of clothing people should wear?
You brothers? Oh, yeah.
No names, but...
I'm actually, there's two of thought, because in Pakistan, what we adopted when we do street dawah, is that because our dawah is to the secular elite or the youth, right? And we always think about relating to them, commonality. And although brothers can, of course, you can wear what you want, shawak and thob, whatever, yeah? But if you want to relate to someone, and if you want to, for example, if you want to get them to chat to you, and not have any, this guy, that kind of thing, then I would probably encourage trousers, jeans, that kind of thing.
Just a normal.
Just as a da'i, just for dawah. You can, in your masjid, in your community. But what brothers in Pakistan, what we do, adopted, even one brother, he only wears shawakis every single time he's a speaker, mashallah. But when it comes to street dawah particularly, he'll wear quarter, 1/4, those kind of things. But I would advise, if you're a dawah, because it's all about relating to them, it's all about connecting with them. And clothing does connect people.
Just Western clothes, anyway, basically.
Yeah, Western clothing. But again, there's no hard and fast rule on that. There's another question? I actually have got some of them, but I will make a whole document to come in lines on it. Because apparently some guy, it's actually so true, some guy who used to work with me, he actually used to note down all my lines, and then he created a website to how to chat with women. Now I've got to make up for that.
One last question. How to stop the Jews? Stanford.
Well, the guys with the hat, I'd always go for the hat. That's the best hat I've seen. What do you mean? We all wear the same hat. I know. What's your name?
Okay.
That kind of thing, yeah. But are they? I mean, you could tell me. Are they generally humorous? Are they very serious?
Very serious. Very serious.
Very serious.
They give you dirty looks as well.
Then we're happy with our thing. We don't want to know. No, don't scare our kids.
You said they give you dirty looks. That's in your mind, bro.
Because I see their faces.
No,
Because when you try to stop them, they...
So this is what I'm trying to say. The face doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Inside, they give you the most sweetest teddy bear ever. That's the way I look at it. You know the business suits, Chancellor Lane? What I used to look at them, and there's lawyers, there's big guys with suits and umbrellas and that's it. You think, oh my God, these guys are serious. Well, I look at them, oh, they're a bunch of lollipops. That's what they are. Or a bunch of Care Bears. They're nice. So that's what you do. It's all about mindset, bro. So you're thinking that, but what I'm trying to say is remove that mindset. They're actually the most sweetest human beings ever. But the thing is, they won't know that you're cool until you have particular footwear stuff. Last question.
Usually they quickly say, I'm not religious. Sometimes they say, I'm not religious. Sometimes they say, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say, I'm not a Muslim.
Okay.
So
For that, I would say, perfect. I was looking for a Christian today. Or I would say, it's not about religion. Do you like science? That's about science. Or do you like philosophy? That's about philosophy. What about life? And the thing is, the lines have to be. Let's talk about the one thing I didn't cover, which I was going to have time, is if someone's coming past any football shot on, doesn't matter whatever. I'm actually Arsenal supporter, and any football say, oh mate, are you a gooner? Shut up, not a gooner. Oh, but anyway, it's about football. You see the results last night, that kind of thing. Again, the reason why you talk about results and football, if you are into sports, is because you want to show them you're an everyday, cool, common person. You're not a real religious fanatic. I think we'll stop there, inshallah. But hopefully we can have other sessions in.
Yes, I mean,
yeah,
we'll get you.
Well, slides and stuff, isn't it?
We'll send you all the information.
And I'll try and come next Wednesday and then we can practice.